Toistaiseksi vielä normaali. Katso F3.
Otis.
E6. Lähti G5. Karpov on Moskva. C1. C3. Aktiivinen. Peter Shakkiareenalla varkausista. Katso edelleen. Täällä on analyysiä. Mä sanon vain, että ei teillä 7 ei vain luumaa.
Voisi olla se,
mitäs on perkkeellä? Se on 6. Se on valkoinen taas. Se 6. Täällä on todella. Ei 3.
Vanhuutta väliaikatieto. 10 minuutin päästä ovat täällä.
kerro vielä uudestaan.
D2. Olisi ottanut vaihtojen alle ja pieneen. G5. Hyödyntää sitä, että G5 ei voi lyödä D2 koska ne lyö G5.
Ääntä alas hei. Mut teillä alas ja hänellä ylös.
Mitä tapahtuu, jos näet lyö G5?
Vastatkaa.
Mitä tapahtuu, jos näet lyö G5? Jos ratsu lyö G5, niin silloin toi näyttely, että pois voittaa vaan ratsulla. Mitä tapahtuu, jos näyttely lyö G5? Näyttely lyö D2, shakki, ja jos ratsu lyö takaisin, sitten G5 näyttely. G5 ei voi lyödä. Vai se, että se lyö?
Se lyö.
Se ei johda suoraan voittaa. Lähtilö D2. Lähtilö D2 voittaa suoraan, koska
Sekä.
Ja ratsu D2. Ei vaan. Tässä viimeinen siirto ei ollut. Viimeinen siirto.
Se uvi vähän nousi, että vaihtuu ilma.
Ei ollut ratsulla G5, koska ei ollut katsossa tulee H4 ja ratsulla ei ehkä ruuhtaa. Mikä oli viimeinen siirto?
Mitä jälkeen?
Niin, musta siirto, peli päättyy tähän. Eli ratsulla G5 ei voitakaan suoraan, koska tulee H4 ja ratsulla ei ole ruuhtaa ja sen jälkeen jolloin se ratsu menee takaisin.
Daami A5. Daami A5.
Daami A5. Kirjoittaa sitä opetetaan tässä. Miksi tämmöinen?
Miksi vaattilaisi?
Ei. Tämä on minun oikea siirto. Sen takia kerran miksi.
Voi sitä ratsua voi syödä.
Ratsua ei voi syödä, joo, mitä sitten muuta? Joo, nimenomaan tämä oikea siirto. Nyt se daami uhkaa syödä tuon ratsun pois, koska ratsu voi ajaa sitä daamia. Eli se uhkaa siinä matkeissa. Jos valkea suojaa vaikka tornilla se ratsu, niin sitten taas lähettää tällaisen. Tässä tapauksessa ehkä vaan lyö ensin tänne ja sen jälkeen lyö daamilla tänne lähettää. Daami uhkaa myös lähettää tuota aamusta. Sen takia ratsu lyö G5 ei uhkaa voittavaa, vaan nimenomaan daami A5.
Laitako takaisin?
Mennään takaisin.
Joo. Kiitos.
11 silloin.
11 on.
Tässä ei tämmöisiä merkkejä. Sieltä on nyt kommentteja tämmöistä informaattorin kommentteja.
Ne varmaan muutamia tuoleja kyllä mahtuisi, että niin. Eikö niin?
Tuolla
takana. Tuolla päivä.
Petteri, Britse-puolelta voi ottaa, ne on pienempiä. Pienempiä ja kevyempiä. Jos pienemmä olisi siitä, niin Britse-puolelta.
Niin sinne koko homma.
Kannattaisi laittaa sinne valo sinne eteen väkisaikakohtaan.
tähän mennessä.
Niin.
Joo.
Ja kun he tulee sisälle, niin siinä on vähän aikaa.
Otetaan pois.
Kyllä saatte pois, jos se näyttää jotain.
Joo, joo. Ole hyvä. Teillä mahtuu. Etsi paikkaa. Mitä puolia Petteri tuolla laittaa tuolla?
Joo, tää on muutama paikka. Joo, ja sun paikka.
Ei,
Onko? Jaha.
Otin mä nimmarin toivossa tämmöisen mukaan. Joo.
Joo.
Sekin on jo yli 10 vuotta.
Joo. 33. Eikö se
Mielellään kännykät hiljaiselle. Kiitos. Ettei häntä häiritä. Hiljaisuutta hei!
Vielä yksi asia.
Kuulutusasia.
Ja vaan teille tiedoksi, että on hakemassa sun Shakkiareenan puheenjohtajan paikkaan syksyllä kevätkouluun. Olen Asko Hentunen, aktiivi pelaaja vieläkin pelannut 45 vuotta kilpasakkia. Kaikki ehkä minua tässä huoneessa tunnen, mutta jos osaa tuntee, niin viimeisen saavutus oli pikassakin joukkueessa Suomen mestaruus 3 viikkoa sitten. Näitä on 9 kappaleita, ensimmäinen vuonna 1939. Olen myös ollut Shakkiareenan hallituksessa yhden kauden 16 vuotta sitten. Ja kun siirryin osittain eläkkeelle, niin päätin panostaa tähän järjestötoimintaan ja hakemassa tuota puheenjohtajan paikkaa. En tiedä, onko kukaan muu hakemassa, mutta ainakin haistaan.
Kiitos, oli tosi kiva kuulla.
Hyvä paljon.
Joo, Taas vaikea. This place is this place is
Tuossa on tilaa tuolla vielä.
Se on jotka käytännössä tuolia. Tuolla on mun mielestä tilaa.
Se standin paremmin siihen.
Joo, se oli sen takia noin, että...
Mä tiedän, mutta sen jälkeen. Vaan sitä, että tai jotain edelleen. Se on sitä kyllä kahvia.
Terve.
Oliver.
Sitten jos teille tulee puhelu, niin muistakaa kovaa, niin kaikki kuulee.
Mä sanoin kaikille. Aina jälkeen. Sain loppuun. Niin, hyvää päivää, hyvää päivää. We are actually a little bit ahead of the schedule. We are most pleased to have Anatoli Karpov with us here today in our chess arena, which is the central place for the Finnish chess. It looks like a chess place. These guys look like a chess people, I think. And let's introduce Emil. Let's take an opportunity. Emil Sutovsky, Grandmaster, PS General Director. Jerome van der Berg. So just Håkan Jalling from the Swedish Chess Federation. Miss Gunnar somewhere behind the board. Yes. Gunnar from Iceland. So, how do we proceed in practice?
This or
We can use actually already if you like. I can help you if you want.
so up to our people. How they prefer. Screen or
All the same for me.
Let's go with this. It never breaks down.
okay, then we need text.
Other book. I actually.
Panu, onko sulla siinä? Vai?
Tarvitaan siirrot jostakin. Niin
Vai kytketään?
varmasti oikein.
Niin joo.
Let's search for the moves here anyway. I left the book at my trunk.
So 1992?
Yes. Moment.
Maybe we find it from here.
That one, yes.
Right here.
we totally not know. And the book game was
Yes. Immediately. Okay. This one. Okay, first of all, good evening. And I'm glad to be here again after a long time. But in 90s, we several times to have chess exhibitions, chess meetings, and doing translation.
everybody can see.
Okay. And so, at that moment, I think, was it 1995, Marcus?
1989, first time.
No, 89, but when we made this simultaneous with the whole planet, with the Ministry of Communication.
Oh,
of
it
Finland.
was 94 or
94 something.
maybe, yeah.
Yes, the first time we tried and it was successful. It was simultaneous exhibition. I was in Helsinki and we used network, and then people from the whole planet were participating in this event. And I remember it was important philatelic exhibition in Helsinki, and so we had that time good connection with post office of Finland. So nowadays chess became even more popular. I hope. I just came from France, where we have national championship, and so they have about 1,000 players altogether, big groups, and the final is with 12 players. Still 3 days to go, and I'm visiting French national championships, junior and adults, almost every year. And this year they hold this in a very nice historical city, Chartres, and they have the best conserved cathedral, historical cathedral from the 12th century. Okay, and then for today evening, maybe we shall do like, it was not easy to choose the game. I played, of course, plenty of beautiful games, and probably I will choose, if we have time, one or two games which are exceptional the way never happened before. So I would say positional games against Kamsky, Alekhine Memorial, 100 years of Alekhine. We had a big tournament in Moscow in 1992. And then another game which is unique, Karpov Spassky, game number 9 from match 1974. And so for chess players it's clear that on the moment when I found move in Sicilian defense with white, move knight c3 to b1, it was winning move. It's unique, and so after this move, my knight came to the right squares, and I won the game. And then another game which is also very interesting, exciting, and short. Another game, Skorichnoy from 1974 match in Moscow, Dragon Variation. I think nobody beat Korichnoi in such sharp way and such manner. But probably we start with game with Kamsky. I played with white. It was Bloomfield defense. So.
Do I make the moves?
Yes. Oh, the first moves are clear. Bloomfield defense, knight f6, c4, c6, knight f3. Bishop g7, g3, c6, bishop b2, d5, c takes d5, c takes d5, knight c3, castle, then knight e5, yes, e6, castle, f to d7, and then f4. F4, this is the only move to fight for advantage. Then he played knight c6, I believe.
Yes.
Knight c6, bishop e3, then knight b6, bishop f2, and bishop d7. So nowadays probably black are choosing f6 before knight b6. So bishop d7, e4. e4. I had several games with this variation, and so knight e7. After d takes e4, knight takes e4, knight comes to c5, and white has very strong knight on e5. And if you push knight with f6, then you have a big square or big pawn on e6. You follow my comment, yeah? So it's like this. Now, let's say knight e5, knight c5. Bishop there, then we can take this.
We will move this a little bit backwards.
Yeah.
And on the bottom.
They
Yeah, we will take this. Yes. This side.
So knight on e5 is very strong. Of course, black can control d5 square, but still knight on e5 is active. And if you push knight with f6, then you close black color bishop, and e6 will be effective. That's why
Näkyykö tänne? Vähän vinompaan tänne. Pikkasen.
Tuolla ei näy. Tässä nyt joku jää näkemättä.
Antaa olla.
On edetään.
So 97,
Yes.
Now if you take on G5, then it's quite convenient for black. They take with this knight, and if knight E4, then B6, and so we can come to C5, and then and probably even bishop E5 before, and everything is fine for black. But and white cannot wait, because now black can take on E4. That's why knight takes D7. Then queen takes D7 and E5. So theoretically, this is quite good for black, because they eliminated that white color bishop in French defense. So they keep control over F5. And then they can take control over C5. And so there's some counterplay. Of course, white has no danger in this position, but it is not clear if advantage is big or not enough. But in the game, it happened that I could prove advantage is very big. And so D5 rook F to C8, I believe, yeah, or A8. Rook C1. Of course, if we exchange all the rooks, then position will be almost equal, because advantage of two bishops is not very important, because position is closed, and so white has this bishop only with active actions on the king side, and to use space advantage, and you know, when you have space advantage, you must keep as many pieces on the board as possible. Then you have bigger space advantage. So, rook C1, then knight or A6. A6. So then B3. Yeah. B3. Of course, we just show that knight on B6 has no future. B3 and pawn on black pawn on B5 and white pawns, so it's not clear how to bring this knight to the game. Probably knight B7, B8, C6, but it's too long. And of course, black double rooks on C5, rook C7, queen D2, most probably. In the 2, rook C8, and then G4. Yeah. So we start attack on the king side, and then knight must control F5. But if black keep this pieces like it is, it's difficult to make moves, because white has many possibilities to improve position, and black should do something. And so G4 was 96 or bishop F8.
Yes.
Bishop F8. Then queen comes to E3. Yeah, this is important, because sometimes bishop on B4 can attack queen on E3 with the tempo, and queen E3 at the moment white can still wait. What black will do? So knight C6, then knight F5, F5, And then what to do now? If you play knight before, then you don't have threats. Because knight on c3 is well protected. And it's clear that to get some activity, black should put bishop on a6. And it seems quite good because black can penetrate on c file. They have double rooks, and it looks like counterplay should be enough. But of course, I saw this when I was playing the moves, like minute 0 and I found very interesting idea, which I could realize in the game. So rook d1. It's not possible to take on e5 or d4 because knight on d6 is not protected. You see it, yeah? If knight takes d4, let's say, then queen takes d4, then let's say bishop c5, queen goes to f4, take on f2, queen takes f2, and again knight on d6 is hanging. So that's why knight b4. And it looks quite dangerous because white only one active piece is queen. Of course, if I would have bishop on h4, then it would be maybe more crucial. But in this position, I found a way how to play, and so knight b1. Yeah.
Queen h6.
Queen h6 first, yes.
Yes.
Queen h6 first. f6 is threat, so queen e8 is the only move. And then knight b1. So bishop b2. And then queen d2. And again, the only move, knight c2. And so black pieces enter the white camp, and it's not clear how they get out. And we still continue our play, king h1. Of course, I must protect very well pawn on d4. And that's why king h1, then bishop g1, and then rook can have some activities on the f file. Okay, then he plays queen e7, then bishop g1, knight d7, then rook f3, then queen b4. Of course, we cannot exchange queens, then black would have advantage immediately. And the only activity for white just to attack king and to use this strange pieces on c2 and b2. So queen h6. So threatening f6. If something happens with d4, then if take on d4 immediately, what will happen? Take on d4. We can simply take everything. Let's look. Bishop takes d4. So f6 is not winning because if f6, then queen f8, queen takes f8, king takes f8. Yes, let's complicate. That's why. We go over here. So it's better for white because if knight takes here, we can take. Rook one check. Then rook f1. The only move to take rook. Bishop takes, rook c1, and then knight d2. Knight takes c5 only move. And then probably what do we do? Maybe we can play G5. Right? Yes. Yes. Because always when you attack my for instance, if you play C2, yeah, then I must control only one square B4, A3, and then knight C6. Repetition is not possible because I have this. And then if knight G4, then we can do, I defend knight. Otherwise, exchange and then Isar. But also we have another possibilities. Knight is on B1, there. So this on B1. And also after this, we can what we can do. Rook F4 is not working here. Let's say. Then rook C1. Black should take with a knight. The bishop is with a knight. And then if we take here, then bishop takes here. And rook F4 is not possible, bishop is here. Rook is here. Bishop is here. But we have in this position, we have in this position. And knight is D4. We have moved A3, I think. And then black will have to go to the diagonal on the pin. Yeah. Okay, so queen H6, then queen F8. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Knight is on
B4, B6.
no, knight is on C2.
Yes.
Queen F8, queen G5.
The other knight is on D7.
On the 7, yeah. Should be. So queen G5.
Queen G5, yes.
Yes. So we gain one tempo for attack. Then black plays
Queen G7.
Queen G7. Yes. And then we play Queen D2. And so we just use this moment when Queen went out of diagonal. Of course, on G7, King is well protected, but Queen is very facing there, and Queen cannot come to F8 because F takes E6. So then, move C6, yes.
Rook F1.
Rook D2 F1, yeah. H5, yes. H4, we still can wait. Knight B4. Of course, we cannot take on B2 because Queen will be trapped. If Queen takes B2, Rook C2, and Queen is trapped everywhere. But of course, why I could see this, and I play A3. A3. Queen on B2. Then Rook C2 is probably only move. Then Queen goes to F4. Yes. Then Knight goes to C6. Bishop H3. So again, The question that rook on c2 and bishop on b2, there is no coordination of this piece. So black played knight d8, yes. And then, so we don't give chance bishop to go to c1. Then b5, only move. And then we just exchange active black pieces, because we have only one piece which is passive, knight on b1. Otherwise, we have very good pieces everywhere, and then we have pressure. And we need to eliminate rooks, which are protecting bishop on b2. So rook f2. Then b4. Yes. A b4. Yes. Rook takes c2. Rook takes c2.
Wait.
No. Rook. Yes. Rook c2. Then,
Yes.
then rook f2. Rook f2. The only move.
Yes,
Okay?
yes, yes.
Take. Take.
Loading the pieces.
Bishop a3 is the only move. Bishop a3. And then now you can see knights on d7 at d8. Very bad. Queen on g7 is very passive. So queen c2. Actually, queen c7 is threat, and only chance here. I could play maybe also f6 here, just to fix everything. Queen f8 only move, and then queen c2, which is also very big advantage. Queen c7 is threat. That the only move would be knight to b8, I think. Because if knight b6, then we trap knight is 7. So knight b8, of course, queen is here. We go to c7, but then I thought I would win easier with middle thread, because after queen c2 the only move black has. Here queen f8 is not working because queen c7, and then after queen e8 only move. He can come to g5. And then what to do? Nobody knows. F6 only move, and then we take the bishop. Take knight f7 only move. We take on e6, and we play g5. This is completely winning position. Okay. So knight takes c5 is the only move, only chance, let's say. Queen c8 is not working because knight e5 to c6, and knights are protected, so pawn takes knight, queen takes pawn. And then, of course, white would play queen d2 or bishop f2, but it's even more serious threat. Queen c8. And then it's not possible to take on e3 because of rare knight. We take, queen takes d8 check. King g7. F6 check, king H6, and queen F8. So let's play the
Queen E4 check.
queen E4 check, king H2. Yeah, or this bishop G2. Bishop G2. And then queen takes, just a moment. What will happen is queen takes on D3. Yes, most probably mistake. No, 6 is not, the 6 is not working. Queen one check and queen takes H4.
Knight was in D8.
Knight was on, knight
Oh,
on D8.
yes, right. Yeah, yeah.
Same mate.
That's the same mate, yes.
Yes.
So, queen takes D1 check, king H2, then bishop B2. First, just to control diagonal, queen takes D8. Sorry, you can't see it because of me, yeah? Maybe we.
The more important. The more important.
So, then F6 check. And then bishop takes F6. Bishop H6 check. King takes. Then queen takes F6. And the threat is G5 check, bishop F3 check, queen F4 mate. And that mate. There is of course another mate. Queen F3 check, take, queen G3 check, and bishop F3. So the only move here. Queen C2. Queen C2, yeah?
Queen C2.
Queen C2.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah. G5, yes. King H5. And so now, important moment. King G3, because it becomes King H3, then King F5 check. And then we take on F5, G takes 5, and then no mate. That's why important move. King G3, then after check on C3, if F goes, Queen F3 mate, and bishop F3.
Queen
C7 check, and then King H3. Then there is no check on F5, only check on C3, and then again two possibilities to make. Bishop with queen. So this was interesting game, and this game was decided as the best game of the tournament, and I believe it was, I think, the best game of the year, 1992. So, do we have, how much time we have?
We have all the time you have. We are not busy anywhere from
But
this.
if somebody has questions about this game, we can talk about this game. Somebody has questions? Okay, then we can look another game. What game? Ask your question.
And we found it from here.
I'm thinking which game? Tactical game or positional game? Both Sicilian, one dragon and one Shakkiareenalla. So up to you. Tactical. Tactical. Okay, let's play the game. Karpov question. This was candidate's final match before Fischer, before the world title. That time Krishna had friend and assistant, Grandmaster Sasonko, who always played Dragon Variation, and personally played successfully Dragon Variation for a certain period of time. I think after this game he stopped to play Dragon Variation.
So you killed the dragon.
No, I cannot say I killed, but Krishna was impressed, and so he never repeated it, at least in the serious matches. So, can you find it? E4, C5, this is clear. Dragon 74.
Six. Closer.
24, just after. Yes, here it is.
Yes.
3d6. And 6, 9, 16. G6. Bishop E3. Bishop E7. F3. Castle. E40. Knight C6. 96. So I don't know how it happened, but I was very successful in Dragon almost in all systems with white. So I won many games, and only 2 or 3 games ended as a draw. And but at that moment I played the very principal line with Queen D2, long castle on H4, and probably you know the game I played against national master Gig in championship of Moscow State University. This is one of the most attractive tactical game with sacrifices, and then it was also very nice. You can look yourself. Karpov, 1968 championship of Moscow State University. So it's 4, and then
Rook C8.
Rook C8, yes, Bishop E3, yes, Bishop E3, Knight E5, Castle, Knight C4, Bishop takes C4. Was it like this or H5 already played?
After this H5.
After this H5. And so later Black tried to meet H4 with H5. And then you can see my game against Snapik, Polish Grandmaster and Olympiad in Dubai, 1996. Which was also very, very quick and very important game, because with this game we could catch American team and British team in Olympiad, and we won in the last round. We destroyed Poland with 4-0, and Spain helped us a lot because they beat England with 3-1, so we could win the Olympiad. Even Kasparov played, I played, but it was not so easy to win the Olympiad. So H5, Knight takes, G4, Knight goes there, yes. Then Knight D2 E2, yeah? Yes. So this is a principle because in Dragon Variation the weakest point is Knight on C3. If you don't protect this knight, then some exchange sacrifices possible, and then you cannot play Bishop H6 because of d4. At some moment can be Knight E4 and Rook D4, and so Knight D2 E2. This I prepared for the match, and I thought it was quite good, because then we threat with Bishop H6 to have attack there, and H5 is not possible, I believe, because we just simply take and rook takes knight, and then bishop h6 or no. If this, I think it should drop. Take, and then bishop h6. Dragging. Yeah, should drop. So, but the first question I played the king h5, that's here. Then bishop h6. Rook. Take, yes, take. Rook f to c8. And then another prophylactic move, rook to g3. Just to protect this knight. And then Karsten played rook c4 to c5, if I remember.
Yes.
And of course, it was not part of preparation because it was difficult to predict this move. But then I found a way how to win the game here. g5. Then rook takes g5. And then rook g5. Not knight d5. If knight d5, then rook takes d5 and queen takes it. And we cannot kick out the main defender of king position of black. That's why we must keep this knight on f6 and rook d5. Of course, rook takes d5 only move. Knight takes d5. Then with the threat, knight takes c7 and winning exchange. And then queen d8, yeah? But queen d8?
Rook e8.
Rook e8. Rook e8. Okay, now if we take on f6, nothing will happen because king can escape on e7. That's why knight e2 to f4. And then we have this threat because knight takes f6, pawn takes f6. We take on h7 this check. King takes h7 check.
Yes.
And then king f8 and knight d5. And so
And there it
king
is.
h8 mate. That's why black must attack knight on d5. Knight here. Yes. And then bishop c6, yeah? Bishop c6. Okay, now what to do now? If we take on f6, pawn takes f6, knight h5, h5. But we cannot take on h7, simply queen f8, king e7, and black is better. But here, queen g5 check. And then exchange is knight h6 check, king g7, and then we take on e8, bishop takes e8, and then we must immediately attack pawn on d6, otherwise it will be late. Rook d1, but then h5, and then f5, and so black has many pawns on the king side. So that's why it's not working the simple way, but there is very interesting way how to win the game. So pawn on h7, pawn here, bishop h6, there, nice. Rook e8, rook pawn e8, nice. Queen on h6, queen is here. Yes, so e5.
Yes.
E5. Knight cannot take because queen h7, queen h8 knight. So that if pawn takes pawn, then knight takes f6 check, and then knight h5 and knight. That's why the only move bishop takes d5, pawn takes f6. Yes, pawn takes f6, queen f7 check. It was still possible to lose knight takes d5 to e1 knight. So here, again, if we take on d5, rook e1 knight. That's why queen h8 check. And there, knight takes d5 check. And then, if he resign on
Yes, he resigned actually on the queen h8.
on the queen h8.
It's very good.
Because if queen d5, rook e1 check. So we win queen.
Beautiful.
Very short, very short game.
Thank you.
So,
E5.
I guess we did there, but this work as well.
No, rook e1 knight.
Ah, okay, maybe.
Very good.
Yeah. Okay, then probably we can talk. If you have questions, we can discuss the past, the future, present time.
Who will be the next world champion?
I think Carson has good chances to maintain.
After him.
Hmm?
After him.
After him, he's still young, so
It's a long time ahead.
we must look for players who are now between 12 and 15, maybe, yeah? Something like this. But who knows? Maybe this Iranian boy, very young and very talented. In Russia, I cannot say we have clear talents on the level of world champions. But we are working hard now, and so we restored our system, which we had in the Soviet Union for preparation, for to choose, to discover talents and to support them. And now we have chess in school program. It is supported by our Minister of Education, and in many regions we have already chess in school, and so we started to organize our national championships and school team championships. We call it White Rook, as it was a long time ago. We started this 50 years ago. This initiative of that time world champions Batvinnik, Spassky, Petrosyan, Tal, and Smyslov. And in the best year of '86, I was president of that system of competitions. In Soviet Union, we had 460,000 young players, boys and girls, participated in these competitions. Then we didn't organize this for maybe 15 years. Then we started again, and just recently we jumped the number of 100,000 players. Compared to old time, Russia is much smaller now than the Soviet Union, and in citizens also. But compared to the time, I think in '86 we had over 300,000 young players in Russia. Now we jumped over 100, which is already good result, so we are recovering. But on the top, Russia lost positions, and so we have only few players who have chance to be in the best 10, which is good for the whole world, because it proves that chess is developing in the whole world, not only in Russia. And then chess started to be part of the school programs in many countries. And I can say that in 2 countries I'm patron of these programs. Besides of Russia, we started to have and we made decision with federal government of Slovakia. School chess in every school in Slovakia with financing by budget. And then another country, Kyrgyzstan. I don't know if you know this country, but it was a big surprise in chess. When Soviet Union collapsed, Kyrgyzstan played in Asian Olympiad, and they took the first place in the men's competition in 1992. And it was a big surprise because they were ahead of China, India, Indonesia, Philippines, and so this is a small country, but with good chess traditions. And so last year they decided to implement chess as obligatory discipline in all schools in the country. And so they asked me to be patron of this. And we have the Karpov Chess Cup for Asian countries, for juniors. Actually, it's open, so if you have ideas to watch one of the best places of Asia, which is Issyk-Kul Lake. And we hold this competition in the best time of the year, July or August, when this is beauty, and Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, Kyrgyzstan, all the people from these countries, they have pleasure to spend their vacation in Issyk-Kul. And so during this time we have this international cup. So we hold this for the 2nd year. Last year we had 8 countries. This year I didn't follow number of countries, but it's growing. And we had last year, even it was for Asia, but we had players from Bulgaria who came to Kyrgyzstan to play in this cup. Okay, so I don't know who will be after Carson. If he takes seriously, because he had problems. He had problems in one of the matches against Anand, because he didn't accept Anand, he didn't take Anand seriously, and he was lost in the match with Karyak. And I don't know how Karyakin missed this win, and even psychologically, what Karyakin. So at that moment, Karyakin played not very good that game, but at that moment Carson was thinking for 40 minutes, and then he made obvious move. And then, of course, Karyakin should analyze why Carson was thinking for so long and made normal move. And instead, Karyakin made immediately reply, which was lost. And at that time, he had his sacrifice and perpetual check. And so he would lead 1 point ahead before the last game. So I think Carson had winning match, but he missed, and then he is under the pressure of that result till now. Already many years passed, but still Karyakin cannot get back, because I think he has psychological problems, always remembering missing opportunity to become world champion in 2 games. Okay.
You travel a lot all around the world these days for chess. Are you how many days in the year on the road? 100, 200?
I don't have this possibilities now, because I'm a member of parliament. So except for summer, I must stay 3 weeks a month in Moscow.
Yes.
But I use sometimes Friday, Saturday, Sunday. In the middle of the week, I have to be in Moscow. And we have scheduled 3 weeks in Moscow in Parliament and 1 week in the region from where we were elected. And because I am working hard and so I can do my program quicker, so this week is possible to travel. Because instead of 5 days working days, I stay 2-3 days. I'm working from 11 till 7-8, and then I can use other days for my chess activity out of the country. But now end of July was very busy, and August probably one of the busiest period of time, and so the idea to visit Helsinki came quite late, and so just big fortune that we could find 1.5 days, because I was where I was. I was in Spain, then I was in Ural. Actually, most probably next year we shall have candidates tournament in Yekaterinburg, the main city of Ural, and we just formed our offer and request. I hope that we shall win, and I'm there very active. I was born in Ural, not in Yekaterinburg. I was born in South Ural, but I'm helping to develop chess in Yekaterinburg. When I saw the facilities, I think if we get this opportunity, so it will be the best site for many years, probably the best site for the whole history of candidates matches, or candidates tournament, because we have new palace of Congress in Yekaterinburg. If we have visitors enough, it will be hall for 4,000 people, and beautiful, modern, better than Kremlin Palace. And if we don't have visitors enough, then it will be reserved hall for, I think, 1,000 visitors, spectators, and then of course all modern facilities. So this is like this. So the 30th of July I was there. Then I was in where I was in Italy. I have for the 4th year summer chess school or chess session in Sardinia, and then I traveled. It's difficult to remember.
So a lot is obvious.
No, I was in Montenegro. Yes. What? Montenegro and Bosnia and Herzegovina. I was there for 3 days, and I had negotiations, and most probably we shall start chess education in these countries locally, and then we shall take the whole country, and I will open 2 schools, Karpov chess schools in Montenegro and Bosnia and Herzegovina, and then I signed the agreement with Turkey. It will be Karpov Educational Center to prepare teachers for the schools in Turkey. And so they want to have a federal program chess in school. And actually they are quite advanced in this. And then last days I was in Siberia, in Kemerovo. We had big chess event. They celebrate 300 years of Kuzbas. Probably you know, this is one of the most important industrial province in the world. And so they celebrate 300 years. And so they made a chess event with 600 players, young players. So 600 kids, boys and girls, were playing. And then again I was at Ekaterinburg, and then I came back, and then I went to France. Then here, tomorrow I fly to Minsk, Belarus, and then from Minsk I go to close my summer session in Sardinia, and after this I come back to Siberia. So the 30th of August I should be in Tyumen. And so here, then Moscow, Minsk, Sardinia, Moscow, and Tyumen in next 6 days.
Like a fantastic tour, really. Shall we take the next game?
No, probably we continue like this for do we have time for that?
Yes.
We have this.
Okay, let's. So, Karpov Spassky, as I said, E4, C5,
So which here?
74.
74. Yes.
So this was quite difficult psychological match because Spassky was like my hero in the young age. So he was world champion for not a long time, but he was very attractive, and I learned a lot from him. And it was just after his match against Fischer, and that time I had not too much experience in world championships, and so I said that moment in '73 when I won the interzonal tournament, I said that this is not my cycle. Probably another time I can become world champion, but I prepared very hard for the match with Spassky, and so I could get fantastic advantage in this match. I won 4-1 in 11 games, which is even better than Fischer. Fischer won match against Spassky with an advantage of 4 points in 21 games. I got 3 points in 11 games. The percentage is much higher than this. So okay, E4, C5, knight F3, D6, or E6.
E6.
Yes. So take, knight F6, and C3, D6. So usually I play the Harris attack, G4. Actually, this is also possible, but in match with Spassky, I decided to play classical way, bishop E2. So bishop E7, cross. F4, knight C6, bishop E7. Bishop E7, knight E3. And then he surprised me in the first game of that match with move A5. And so I played not so bad that game, but it was good lesson for me because we played that match in St. Petersburg, that time Leningrad. And so I went to finish golf, for staging, and then I got sick. I got height fever, and then I called organizer. I said I cannot go for the opening. They must postpone. And then organizers, and I was living, I was student of Leningrad University. And so organizers knew quite well, I knew them, and then they said, but we sent all the invitations, and so could you just come for the opening ceremony even if you're ill? And then after we postponed the first game, I didn't know rules very well, and I accepted this. So we opened the match, and then still I had fever of 38, and I played that game with 38. And I had to play because the chief arbiter, after the opening ceremony, I said, I want to postpone the first game. He said, if you postpone the first game, you will lose a match. The first game cannot be postponed. And so I had to play ill that game. And then at the end, of course, I couldn't keep concentration for a long time, and then I made a mistake on the fourth hour of play. But here I was prepared already. So A4, knight B4. Of course, we control B5 square for the whole game probably, but then it's difficult to control B5 and to stop activity in the center. The position of black pieces and black pawns are quite has harmony. So knight b4, then knight e4, or bishop f6, bishop f6, bishop f3, bishop c6, knight d4, g6. So e5 is not possible immediately because knight on f5, and Spassky is preparing e5. So white knight cannot jump to e5. G6, then rook f2. Important to be able to bring rook to d2 and also to protect pawn on c2. e5. Knight takes c6. B takes c6. F takes e5. Pawn takes e5. Yeah. And so now c6 pawn covers d5 and d5, and then theoretically white color bishop is not so promising, because e4 pawn which is blocked with e5, and then if black would be able to exchange black color bishops, probably they have even better position. But the problem how to do it. So rook f2, rook f to d2, yeah? Or queen
f1.
Queen f1, yes. Yes, this is very important because if I will play rook d2, then queen c8, and then queen comes to e6, and I can control this. And c4 is a key strategical square in the game. So that's why queen f1, and so now you black plays queen c8 and queen c4, or h3 first I play.
Queen c8, h3.
h3,
Yes.
h3, yes. Then if queen goes to e6, then we play what we play.
It wasn't the game.
Huh? No, it wasn't the game.
Knight d7 was the game.
97, yes, because if queen is 6, then simply we play rook c1 and then bishop e2 and bishop comes to c4. And the knight d7 is not possible here because of rook bishop g4. And so that's why, and if knight doesn't go to d7, then we play bishop e2 and bishop c4. And we attack f7, which is quite weak in the position. So, Spassky played the knight to b7. And then he wants to change bishops, what I said. So bishop g4 is the only way to stop it, because if we play, let's say here, then black can play even bishop h4, and then we have to play rook with d2 only, or e2, and black has plenty of time to create something, or even black can play bishop g4 will be threat, yeah. Or maybe queen c7. And then knight a6, bishop c5. So this is the main idea. Bishop g4, h5, bishop takes, queen. And so what we can see now, when we exchange one knight, the knight on b4 is not so dangerous for white. It's alone. So queen c4, we control e6, and of course after queen e6 we simply exchange, and then we have extra pawn, double pawn c5 e6. And, I cannot claim this is winning position, but it's a big advantage, and this is one side game. So Spassky played bishop h4, rook d2, queen goes to e7, yes, rook to f1, and then rook d8. Then this is the most attractive move. I played. It was very difficult to find, but this is beautiful move because positionally this is fantastic. First of all, still we want to be able to kick out this knight, and we can do it only this one from c2. And then our knight is not so active. And of course, ideal would be to bring it to bc or fc. And so I found this exceptional move, knight c3 to b1. And then if exchange the knight takes, and of course we must understand that after bishop g5 we take on f7, on f7 thing. And so Spassky played rook f8, probably, yeah? Or
Queen b7.
Queen b7. Queen b7. Okay, then you play king h2. G3 is red. Then bishop should go back. King g7. And then another, I think, great move which I found here. I made move rook d3 to e2.
c3
C3 first,
Yeah.
yes.
This
Knight
first.
e6, and then now rook is protecting b2, and also we want to have more pieces with the pressure on f7. And then knight goes to b2 and knight to f3. So black played rook. Now rook f8.
Rook f8.
Rook f8. Okay, still knight to d2. Then bishop d8. Then knight goes to f3. So necessary to protect the pawn. f6. Then again rook e2 to d2. So now we have time to take control over d5. So rook e2 d2. Then what black did? Bishop e7. Yes. Then queen e3. Rook d7 is red, and queen cannot attack queen because bishop on e7. So rook goes to d8. Yeah?
Loses by force, you say.
Huh?
Loses by force, you say here.
Yeah, it is. So rook takes. Bishop takes. Yes, and then if move rook takes, then knight takes e5. If here rook takes, then knight takes e5. And check on f7 is very strong. So bishop takes. And then rook d1. The only move, knight to b8. Then bishop c5. Only move rook h8. And then rook takes d8. Rook takes d8. And then bishop e7.
There it is.
Very good. And so you could see that the first move on the black side, white knight is, I think, bishop c, queen e6. Queen e6 was the first move. Otherwise, we played on our side, on the white side, and the game was won with this maneuvers. Okay, so now this is the end of the game.
Was there a moment when you knew that you want to be a world champion and you have a chance for it?
No, maybe I didn't decide if I would be professional in chess. Even I was the younger grandmaster in 1970. At the time, grandmaster title had much heavier weight than nowadays. And I can say that I became grandmaster in 1970. In Soviet Union, we got or we established this title in 1936. So 34 years of existing. I received official document of the Soviet Union with the number 46. In 34 years, we had only 46 grandmasters in Soviet Union, and in the world, at that time we had maybe 200 grandmasters in total. And now I don't know how many. I mean, how many grandmasters? Huh?
1700.
1700. Only in Russia we have over 200 now. Over 300. Yeah. And I don't know even many grandmasters by name and by games. Nothing. But that time when I became grandmaster, I knew everyone, and personally or games, and so it was different time. And then still I did serious education.
What did you study?
At the beginning I studied math in Moscow University, but then I switched to economy, and I made absolutely right choice. I had problems in the faculty of mathematics. I was strong mathematician, and I had gold medals in Olympiads in mathematics, but I got personal problems with teachers because they thought that to be serious mathematician you must change formula of activity, and even personally they played chess, but they insisted students shouldn't play chess. And so I had to change. I had to switch because I didn't want to lose opportunity to continue my chess career. And so I went to Faculty of Economy, which I finished in 1978, before my match with Koichnoy. But 73, when I won interzonal tournament, I understood that I can be 100% professional. And then I took time out in my education in university. And after I became a world champion, I graduated university. And I still did not limit myself only with chess. I had active life and social. I was goodwill ambassador of UNICEF. I am for 37 years. I'm president of Peace Foundation, which is one of the biggest public organizations in Soviet Union and in Russia. And 37 years, and we shall have our conference, a national conference in 2 months. I have chances to be re-elected for another 5 years. So it is big, and in Russia we don't have anybody close to me. For 37 years, being president of the biggest organization, this is absolutely unique. But still, of course, when I took time out in university, then I decided that I had to make everything to become world champion. And fortunately, I succeeded not to wait too long. And so I became even in the first attempt. And these matches and wins, which I showed you, they were very important. Match with Korchnoi, final candidates, and Spassky. This was psychologically was extremely important for me, because after this match with Spassky, I understood I can become world champion that cycle and that year.
Who were your toughest opponents?
Myself.
One question on Botvinnik's role for your growth of chess player, because he had some central role in all these educational systems, and he has been probably guiding you also as a young chess player.
Not exactly. You know, in the history, you can read some legends. And so when I became world champion, of course, everybody was saying that I was in the first group of Botvinnik. But the school was very short. Very short. Botvinnik just lost match against Petrosyan, and then he formed the first school for young talents in Soviet Union, and he collected in this school the best talents. There were 7 altogether. I think I was only candidate master in that group, and we had girl. She was first category player, but very talented, Oshirovich from Ural. In this group, we had people from age of from 47 till I was the youngest, 46 till 51. So it was in 1963. 1963, I was 12 years old. And then I don't think that in chess it was very useful for me. But what I discovered that first of all, Botvinnik, Longmi, and all of us, chess needs a lot of work. And then second, which was extremely important for me in life, Botvinnik told us that chess players should be physically prepared. And from that time, I started to make my fitness, physical training, and I was quite not healthy kid. From 5 to 11, I was not seriously ill, but this problems of our climate, like you have, we have the same in Ural. And so I was ill. I can say that time 3 months I was ill, 3 months I was playing chess, 3 months I was studying at school, and 3 months vacation, summer vacation. So this was the year for maybe 4 or 5 years. But then I started to make exercises, and from 11 years old, now I am 68. So I can say that last year I made record in our parliament. I missed only 1 day with illness for the whole year. And I am not the youngest. I'm not the best. And so this was very important. And in chess, you know, Botvinnik, even he lost, and he said that he will stop to play for the world title, but still he had in mind that he will be active. He will be active, and so that, and because of this, he was giving us home work, but mostly variations which he wanted to know better. And we did, of course, at home between school sessions, we did full homework, and then we were coming, and then we analyzed with Botvinnik variations in which he had personal interest. Okay, it was also useful.
Okay, thank you.
There was a question?
Yes,
Same there.
in your opinion,
What makes some chess players so exceptional? Or what made you so exceptional compared to others? And, related questions. When you were 7 years old, do you remember how many hours a day you practiced?
So I love chess and I love to play chess. And when I was young, I could play even the whole night in blitz without any problem.
We can take it next time also.
We
can take it next time also.
No, I cannot advise you to do this, but I could. I could, and I was very keen with blitz games. Even Botvinnik punished us. He was saying that blitz is against strong chess players, but we were excited. And even in school sessions, I remember once we played till I think 4 o'clock in the morning, and suddenly Botvinnik, he was not each day with us, but suddenly he came just after the breakfast. Of course, we didn't appear for the breakfast, and of course we missed the lecture of Botvinnik. He came and nobody was there. No, we were all sleeping, and then of course it was a big scandal. But still we continue to play blitz. So chess. Why chess is entering school programs in the world? Because with chess we can give knowledge of to our kids, knowledge of strategy, logic. We develop memory. Then in chess we teach our kids how to make decisions, how to analyze, how to prepare. So a lot of things which absolutely necessary for our life, and that's why I believe chess entering school programs in many countries, because with this, and also there is a clear correlation between chess and discipline, and teachers in the whole world are very excited for this, because when you have better discipline, then you have better results on that subject. This is clear. And then in chess we teach our kids how to concentrate. This is very important.
Okay, Marek, and then you.
My question is just out of box. Have you read Fischer Chess, and what's your opinion about it?
Maybe it's interesting. I tried. I played 2 or 3 games, but I have no time to.
Yeah, but what's your opinion about this kind of chess?
You know, I was not very excited, because in starting position in our chess, what we know from the young age, there is harmony of the pieces in starting position. But in random chess, you lose this harmony, and at least the games I tried, official and not official. So just to avoid home preparation and computer preparation, this is very good. And Fischer had in mind this thing.
Yeah.
He didn't like that people. That time computers were not strong, but he didn't like that people analyze very deep. And then he cannot get advantage, because they analyze, they prepare at home. Even he was analyzing a lot himself, but he didn't like that others were analyzing.
So when you had those like huge games, how big team did you have to make the preparations? And can you tell something like the area before computer time?
I had maximum three persons, and it's very difficult to control the group and to lead the group over three. And with our team, for instance, in Chess Olympiad, where you have mutual interest to win the Olympiad, we separated our team and trainers to groups, like 2-3. Because if you have more than 3, then there is already discussion, and there is no serious analysis. 2-3 maximum, I think, can make a serious job. And if you have more than 3, then you have more jokes, and then no serious results. Yeah.
Yeah, so all your World Championship matches, which one is the most memorable?
No, I know. Actually, each match had something interesting and unique, and so I played many. I played 11 World Championships on the final stage, and nobody did it in our history. And even these days, even more. I spent from the beginning, from the opening ceremony of World Championship match till the closing ceremony. I spent, I think, 766 days. So this is 2.5 years fighting only for world title. And of course, it was very important to meet Fischer, and I prepared hard, and then I played a very difficult match against Korchnoi in 1978. 1981 it was easier because I don't know, maybe because of age, Korchnoi was not so strong, and I could win easily. But even to win easily, so I could win very easy. I won the first game. I think I won the second game. The third was drawn, and then I had completely winning position in the fourth game, and so of course match would be over if I win 3 games in 4. But then somehow I made a big mistake, and instead of winning, I lost the game, and so each game was big fight. Even the final score was in my favor, and this big gap. And then matches with Kasparov, and then another match with Timon, who was that moment quite strong, and then Kamsky, and then Anant. So were very good players and exceptional players.
What do you think who would have won if you had played against Fischer?
Against what?
Against Bobby Fischer, 1975.
1975. I thought I made fantastic job. I thought I had chances. I can claim I had better chances, but for Fischer I was unpleasant opponent, because when he was getting his title, he played always with elder chess players, and he played with chess players whom he knew. And in my case, it was absolutely different story. He didn't know me. We met only twice, I think, or even once before our match. And I was younger, that time 8 years, important advantage. Of course, he was more experienced, but when he was coming to the top, he had full support of public, press, and he was younger. He was representative of free world, so-called, and he was playing against Soviet players. But in case with me, so I was younger. I had already very good results. Then he didn't understand what will be let's say, opening repertoire, what kind of surprises he could meet, and so he simply, and also he missed 3 years when he beat Spassky in the match in 1972 till 1975. He didn't play even one tournament game, and to keep your nervous system in working condition at home, I'm sure impossible. Even he was in chess, he was analyzing, but still you need to train your body, you need to train especially your nervous system, and so he was not sure.
Excuse me, I would ask, things have probably changed quite much as regards this Fischer random and any random chess. Nowadays, computers analyze quite much, and very much game theory has been made. are there great differences nowadays? Can anybody assume that in world championships?
No, in the normal chess, difficult to get knowledge about all the openings. Yeah, but in random chess, 968 positions, possible positions. You cannot read even analysis of computer, and you don't know which position you will get.
Doesn't make it more interesting.
And so computers are okay. If you could know the starting position at least 1 hour before the game, then probably you can read quickly something, but impossible.
Yes. What kind of feelings you got when you noticed your child's achievement, something great in chess game?
What?
When I achieved something great in chess game. When you noticed you got something great there, the own games.
No, I don't understand. Probably I cannot hear well. Achievements. What you mean? When you
notice when you play a game and you notice you achieve something great in that game, what kind of feelings is?
No, you cannot produce fantastic games every day. Even being world champion. So, of course, when you play games which you like, then it's another feeling. But you simply prepare for another game, and okay, you must understand philosophically that it's impossible to produce beauties all the time. So that's why when I open competitions, I normally wish the players to play at least one good game, which will be for the whole life as a good memory.
Yes. Various sources have mentioned that you have a very huge chess library. I'm nowadays slowly working on a book about interesting libraries in Europe, and I just wonder how many books you have nowadays, and is it possible someday in the future to come to take some photos of your library?
My library is not in good order. And I don't know how many books I have in the library. I think I have maybe over 11,000, which is much weaker than Lothar Schmidt's library. But in the history, probably this is the fourth or fifth biggest library. And my library is much strong in chess, much stronger than our state library. But still, I have good order in the sections which I used for my for writing books and for tournament plays, for my practical preparation. So this I have in good order: tournaments, monographies, openings, and the rest is in big disorder.
What about your stamps? Are they in perfect order?
No, not everything. But I started to participate in special exhibitions. I'm not looking for international medals. I know I'm very good. I don't care. But just I started to present parts of my collection, and then I make order. So next year, I think I will make my personal exhibition in Antwerp, because 1920 they had Olympic Games just after the First World War in Antwerp, and I have the best collection of that Olympic Games. And I met with mayor, and so I got already very nice location in city library. So it will be a special exhibition. And just recently, I had good space in the National Museum of Kazakhstan in nowadays Nur Sultan. At that time it was Astana, capital of Kazakhstan, and so it was special. The exhibition was called as Russia and Kazakhstan, pioneers in space, which is reality because in Kazakhstan they have first cosmodrome, and still it is active, and we had a lot of mutual achievements in space together with Kazakhstan, Russia and Kazakhstan.
There is a question about your memory. How well did you remember all your games when you were at your best? Did you remember all the games? Do you remember all the preparations that you had before the games?
Sometimes not.
Remember all the games?
No, when I was world champion and I was working every day, of course I knew. Now I cannot recall each game move by move. But I know positions. I don't know. I know critical moments. And actually, for the player, chess player, it's not necessary to remember the whole game till then. So you must remember critical moments, and probably if you have some ideas in the ending. So this is important. And move by move, okay, then nowadays it's even easier. You take computer and that's it.
Do you have any plans to play tournament somewhere near future?
No tournaments. I have no time for tournaments now. But I play. So this year I'm captain of 2 strong teams, grandmaster teams, and one team is in Hockenheim in Germany. I started my chess academy there in 1994, and when we got successful pupils and they started to reach international level, we decided to make team. And so 3 years in a row, we are number 2 in Bundesliga, and I don't know how we succeed to do this because we are not. According to ELO rating, we are number 5 maybe. But 3 years in a row, we can show this fantastic result. Probably because we have very good relations inside, and actually this is also a surprise because my team is very international. We have grandmasters from Russia, we have 2 grandmasters from Ukraine, we have grandmaster from Hungary, from Slovenia, then from Slovakia, and Germans. So very international team, but we are in good terms, and we know how to support each other. And then we just formed a new team in Ekaterinburg. And then we took the 2nd place in Russian Championship this year. We shared the 2nd, 3rd place. And in both teams I am captain and I'm playing on the first board, but not very often. I play a couple of games. And then I can play rapid chess, but for classical chess you need much longer time, which I don't have. You had some.
Yes, you mentioned earlier that the Soviet Union had a special program to encourage new talents. Can you go more in detail about how did it work and how did it have an impact on you?
No, they found me, for instance, my personal case, they found me very early. I was 8 years old and I was already known in the province, and we had professional trainers and teachers in each, probably not in Far East, chess were not so well developed there, but at least in the central part of Russia, in Ural, in the Caucasus, in Ukraine, in Baltic states, we had many teachers, many trainers. So they were watching competitions. We had system of competitions for school children in different age. We didn't have championships like now. FIDE has championships for under 6. You organized or not? Not yet. Not yet. Under 8, yes. But I heard that there is idea to organize under 6. When I played, we had championships, national championships under 18, and world championship was under 20 at that time. Only one type of championships, junior championships. And at that time we didn't have championships for girls. only boys. And my title, junior title, I got not far from you, just opposite in Stockholm, in 1969. And this was my big victory and very important. And of course, later we started to form schools, but Phoenix School was the first one. With some knowledge we got, and then after we started to form schools, we had school of Smyslov, we had school of Filogayevsky, school of Spassky, school of Kasparov, my school. I made my first school in 1988, and it was not in Moscow, an absolutely different principle. But Vinnik and others, they were choosing and inviting the best players from different parts of the country. And I did my school on absolutely different principle. I made a provincial school. I took one province, Voronezh, this is center of Russia, and the result was very good. When I selected pupils, I had 7 people, like in between group, 5 boys, 2 girls. In province, till that moment, they never had even an international master. They had only world champion in correspondence chess, Zagorovsky, Professor Zagorovsky. But in tournament chess, they didn't have even an international master. From my group, 3 became grandmasters, 1 international master, and one of the best trainer. Not only in Europe, but I think in the world. He was working with national team in Poland and probably in Spain. And girls became, one girl became national master, another international master, but then they married and they stopped to play chess, unfortunately. They would become grandmasters for sure, but we didn't get that chance. And so for instance, for these competitions which I mentioned already, school teams. So we have final. Always we had final in Artek, which is pioneer camp in Krim. And nowadays we try to organize this in a nice place, then kids can have vacation at the same time. And so normally there's some Black Sea. And so we are coming back to Artek, I think next year or year after next, because this camp would be restored and would be absolutely modern. And so then this is possible to see the youngest players who have talents, and then we had system how to support. And so now we missed it, but as I said, we try to restore the best parts of chess preparation and chess construction of Soviet Union.
I'm interested in your cooperation with Furman. How were you introduced to Semyon Furman?
Semyon Furman, so he was chief trainer of CSKA. CSKA, you know, in football probably, you know. This is Central Army Club, sport club. And so at the moment we had very strong team. Our Minister of Defense, Malinovsky, Marshal Malinovsky, one of the greatest marshals of Second World War, he was keen to chess. He was from Odessa, and when he became Minister of Defense, he started to develop chess in the army. And so first they formed a strong team, but they were missing young players. And in 1967, I joined that club as junior. And so since that time, we started to be the best team of the country, because I could cover the whole of the team, the junior board. And Furman was the chief trainer of the team. And then we met, and then we came together to Stockholm. And after Stockholm, we were working till his death.
Are you still there? I read that it was such a symbiotic relationship that you could read
No, I can
each
say
other's
we
thoughts and
were
even
in
predict
one team, in one group, like son and father. He was my shoulder. Actually, he was born at the year of my mother, 1920. So.
Right. We had one team, from Finland who played against Czechoslovakia in Moscow in
84. 84,
yes.
Mm-hmm.
But you were not playing, but Geller was playing and with Jan and
Yeah.
He lost 11-1.
No, Geller was one of the first grandmaster in that CSKA team. But probably because Geller is from Odessa and Malinovsky is from Odessa.
Very famous game where he sacrificed the queen against two potentially traditional. Not matter. He won easily. So it was a very famous game.
I must say that when I was playing for the team, twice we could get the European title in '86 and I don't remember another year, but twice I was European team champion with CSKA. And so now our Minister of Defense started again the program chess in the army, because since 1987, last years of Soviet Union, till I think till 2015, we didn't have chess in the army. But now Minister of Defense decided, okay, it's necessary.
I'd like to hear your opinion about how chess has changed in recent years. I remember, old enough to remember your games from the 70s and 80s. They were very beautiful processional games. And I recently looked at the games at the Singapore tournament they are playing now.
Yeah.
And to me, the games were very boring. The players were high ranked, but they played like our computers.
Yes.
Just some change has happened. But what's your
Yes,
opinion?
this is a bad part of computer interference. And so chess players, they're afraid of each other and computer variations. And so that's why in openings we don't have so many interesting ideas, because of this of the special feelings chess players have. And so openings are more simple, so they try to avoid the variations in which computer could give big knowledge and deep knowledge. And then I think we lost a lot with fantasy and imagination in chess. And even Anand, if he would not, I'm sure, and I told him also, if he would not spend so much time with computer, he would not lose his exceptional view of chess. And when computers came, he was working all the time. And then I remember even the moment we played together in the Corsica tournament, and he played against Topalov. And then it was a very sharp game. So we were watching and just analyzing blindfold, естественно. And so we were proposing different variations, and then Friedrich, who has no ideas on the highest level about chess, he said, no, and they're friends with Anand. So Friedrich said, no, Anand wouldn't choose this. Even we thought this was the best continuation. And then I asked why. Friedrich said, because Fritz will never choose this variation.
Yes.
Who do you view as the best chess player of all time?
I don't know. I'm one of them. Actually, all world champions, besides of this Ilyumzhinov time, I can say that actually we must be proud of our history because world title in chess is the oldest among all other sports. If you remember, we had first world championship in 1886, when other sports they didn't have even national championships, and we had already world championship 10 years before modern Olympics. And then since 1886, I was world champion number 12. And so in 100 years, so Kasparov just could catch the end of the first 100 years of world championship. So let's say 13 in 100 years. And then during Ilyumzhinov's time, he added us, I think, 9 world champions. And of course, absolutely another title, another people. I cannot say they are bad players, they are good players, but Khalifman, Kasimdzhanov, still they are not world champions. Yeah? Even they are quite good. Then actually Ilyumzhinov made so many mistakes in professional chess that we lost our positions because if you remember when I played Kasparov, so I remember in Sevilla twice chess news from the match were over political news on CNN. And now you can never get chess news in CNN program. So this is a result of leadership of Mr. Ilyumzhinov. Very nice president. Actually, Finland was voting for him. I remember.
There was a question.
Yeah, continuation about the computer preparation nowadays. How do you think a neural network like AlphaZero could change the future of chess?
Oh, this no, this is a long discussion. I can.
But a question of your opinion. Do you think, from a game theoretical perspective, is chess a draw or wins one set? In perfect way.
No, it's quite clear that white has advantage, and then how you can exploit this advantage from the beginning. And there are different ways. One way just to play sharp variations and to prepare and to calculate as deep as possible. Another, and in such type of chess, you have no chances against computers, but you have chances against computers when you play positionally. And then, for instance, what I could say about my understanding that computers will never get feelings on computer don't have feelings, but they will never understand. For instance, we have middle game position, and then ending is coming, and then I can say which pieces we should exchange. With which pieces my advantage will be bigger, with which pieces I can defend easier. The computer only calculations, of course, when they can calculate each position till the end, then answer is clear. But before this, computer can never say you, and cannot answer which pieces should stay on the board, how to exchange, how to increase.
What kind of preparations for your body you regard important? Is it eating or sleeping or?
No, sleeping is very important.
Muscles or bones or?
No. I was making sports. Actually, I'm from cross-country ski capital. That time in my city, we always had Russian championships for cross-country skiing, and I did it, of course. Then I played tennis. I was swimming. Light athletic was not so important for me, but I was playing a little bit basketball in spite of my size, let's say. But still, I had pleasure to play basketball. So during my training sessions, during competition, of course, I couldn't make the sport, only very light. But when I was on training sessions, I did 1.5 to 2 hours sport every day.
Light sports?
Yeah.
Not heavy?
Yeah.
Okay.
What is your favorite opening variation in chess? What opening do you most like in chess?
I would answer a different way. I'm sure that to understand chess deeply, you must try to play Spanish game with white and black.
One question about these openings. I just read for the Chess Page magazine about you for this story, and they say that 1990 you changed from E4 to D4 or more closed openings. What is the story or that one when you start variating the openings from E4?
So the first yes, a big change I made when I prepared match with my match with Spassky, and so I wasn't sure because Spassky had fantastic experience, and so he made deep preparation against Fischer with E4, and then I didn't know the whole preparation, and so in my mind and in the mind of and thinking of our group, we decided that I should be able to play not only E4 but also D4 if I meet some problems, and if I wouldn't find that variation in game number 9, I wouldn't be able to play E4 because Spassky played this new line A5, and if I wouldn't find something, then it's impossible to play match. Tournament difficult but possible, but match impossible to play without white power. If you don't get advantage with white, then you are lost.
How did you usually sleep during tournaments? You're active.
There's some problems, like this chess player. But sleep.
I read that you stayed up late. I read that you usually stayed up quite late.
Yes. So when I started to play tournament chess, we had late hours of play, which completely changed. Now you can start even 1 o'clock. But I remember I was thinking game with Parma in Caracas, where I became grandmaster. It was a very important game, and so I sealed my move, I think, 1:30 in the night. And so you cannot go to sleep at 11 if you have to play 1:30. And that's why. And Fischer also, he was getting into sleep late or early in the morning, but he was sleeping till the moment he could. And during tournaments, I do the same. I don't pay attention to breakfast or even lunch. If I can sleep, I sleep.
There was a question.
Could you explain us what is Karpov's move?
Karpov's move? One? This I don't know.
Bishop.
Huh?
F1. Back F1. Bishop.
Bishop F1? Maybe. No, but actually, I think in my games, in endings, and even in the middle game, I think I played the most interesting way, short moves with rooks. And so it started with my game against Hort in Moscow. Again, Alekhine Memorial in 1971. And
Rook
then...
to G4.
Was
it Rook to G4?
Yes, Rook G4, Rook F4, Rook F3, Rook E3, Rook E4. And then after all these moves, I got the winning position.
There was a question.
Do you have a favorite chess set?
So classical, Downton form. No, I think in the history. So I played only Stanton for matches for the world title, but I think the best samples of this have been done in Cuba for Olympiad in 1966. And I have one set of this. The first time I saw this chess set in Koichner house, Koichner home. We were friends till that moment, and so he got the gift in Havana. But of course, classical and voodoo chess.
Have you ever played a serious game or match against top computers? So how you imagine how to make it?
So I played one game against Deep Thought. It was a hard game, but that time, so I won the game. Even I had big advantage. Then I made mistake because I accepted to play this game in the evening in Boston, and so I forgot that in Moscow this is early morning, and then after 2 hours of play I got into sleep, and then I made mistake, and then I was losing, and what I could find out at the moment, I decided that I'm losing. Normally I'm losing, and then I found the weak point of the program. I was without pawn, and then in ending I sacrificed another pawn, and that time computers were grabbing extra material, and the computer didn't understand. It was not in the program that in rook ending 2 connected fast pawns much stronger than 4 disconnected, and so I could even win the game.
Rematch again.
Huh?
Another game.
Sorry.
Another game with the machine. Yeah?
No, I played only one with serious program. I remember our match, our simultaneous exhibition in Bad Kissingen in West Germany, when we played, I think, 100 games, all the players, so 25 games each against computers. And so, no, I won. That time computers were not strong. I won easy. Hubner won easy, Unzicker won easy, and Spassky had suffering for a long time because he sacrificed materials, and this computer, it was absolutely the wrong strategy, and so he played maybe 2 hours longer than we did.
Okay. Up there, back there.
What is more difficult for you, chess or politics?
In chess you can calculate quite deep.
Okay, I would like to hear some tips from you how to improve in chess.
So what I could say from my practice and my life, and it was proved that chess understanding is much more important than knowledge of chess openings. That's right. Middle game, endings, and openings. Of course, you must know, but this is not the most important.
I was sitting president in Finland, Sauli Niinistö. He's a chess player also. If he invites you to play, to go to the president and play.
I played, and I met many interesting people, and so the first one who played against me was Schmidt, Chancellor Schmidt in Hamburg. Yes, but his wife was stronger. And then, of course, we met Josip Broz Tito, who was keen to chess, and then János Kadar. Probably János Kadar, you remember, Hungarian leader. He was the strongest among leaders of the countries. He he had a good first category. And he was always coming, when he was in Moscow, he was always coming to our competitions. We had tournaments or matches, and I was in very good terms with Janusz Kader. And then who else? Brzezinski was quite a good player, American. He was not president, but state secretary of the United States. Okay, finished?
Yeah, 2 minutes.
Do you never
One last
play
question.
online? Do you never play online?
Very seldom. Yes, but I organize. Just recently, I organized one competition which is unique and the first in history. I organized international tournament for inmates by internet, and 7 countries we had: United States, Great Britain, Italy, Brazil, Russia, Belarus, and Armenia. You understand inmates, yeah? People who are in prison. And so the first time, and actually they had, how to say, open pictures. They could talk each other, journalists could ask them. So nobody believed that it was possible, and it would be possible. But it was possible, and we will continue with this.
Super.
Brilliant idea.
Huh?
It's a brilliant idea.
No, in Russia, this is my program. For me, a surprise was the participation of Great Britain and Italy. But Brazil, they took my program, United States, this program, and Ukraine didn't appear, but they made this program. I introduced this program in Ukraine and Kharkov. And so, this International Chess Day, what we celebrate 20th of July, we had a big event in Russia, and we organized chess festival in prisons. And of course, Russia has a huge number of citizens, and so over 100,000 people took part in these competitions in prisons in Russia, July 20.
Wonderful. Thank you, Anatoli Karpov, so I have ever seen in Finland.
Yeah. But we meet quite often, yeah. I don't talk about last 20 years, but I think I'm the fifth or the fifth time here in Helsinki.
Joo, se toimii oikein.
Joo, tietysti tulee aika paljon rahaa. Ei sinulta niin tavallaan tullut ja